comment section to be courteous to kind speak. Everyone talking one at a time, please. Okay? So I will do the prayer, and Mr. McCray will do the prayer. First of all, always take a moment to thank God over the world. Second, church, thank God. We need to get them over the Ukraine, in the United States, we have the freeze and flood, and the viruses coming in. I think one of the sides. This Father, we come to your presence, thank you and all of us. Thank you for all the blessings you have given us. Real life, without you, we could have a conversation. But you taught us what is this, and thank you. And I'd be remiss not to thank you for the so deep and love you in the Father. Lord, I pray for this to be good, and I understand you do better spell. I can just eat, hear, and thank you. Because everyone I'm talking about is talking about the voice. Bless them, Lord. We name the Lord God. Lord, bless this country and save this pain. Bless our youth. Bless our country. And Father, just come and guide us with this night, Father, better together. Let's want to. Because right now, Father, we need leadership, understand the continuity. Please, Father, pray for our president, pray for our government. With the local officials, Father. These ministries as well. Please, Father, we can have mercy. I pray for the elderly. I pray for the next person. Because, Lord, we need prayer. We need truth. But, God, everything you said is done. Everything is love, kind, and understanding. And we don't want to towards each other, Father. Please, have mercy. But, Father, everything you said is done good. Give you mind. Give you honor. Praise you.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Michael Cheatham.
Here.
Mr. Carl Quinnigan.
Here.
Mr. Chris Hall. Mr. Ronald Johnson. Here. Mr. Jason McCray.
Here.
Mr. Keith Mills. Here. Mr. Richard Oliver. Here. Dr. Chrissy Oakland. Here. President Lewis King.
The question of the Lord is that all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Please, this is good. Okay, move forward, new business. Address the jury in concerns of the new facility of Grace Lane, Mr. Jason Mason. State your name, please.
My name is Dr. Jason Matthews. Testing, 1, 2. My name is Dr. Jason Matthews. I'd first like to thank the board for affording me the opportunity to stand before you on today to voice not only the concerns of myself as the psychiatric facility that will be placed in the neighborhood of Grace Lane, but also to voice the concerns of many that are sitting and standing here before us on today. So, moving forward, I think it's important to say what I do professionally, what I have done, because it's valuable to the statements that I'll make to you in the beginning. I have approximately 20 years of servitude as a military veteran and as law enforcement in the Baton Rouge metropolitan area of Louisiana. And with that being said, I would be somewhat considered as a professional as it relates to escape personnel, corrections, law enforcement practices, and so on, and the safety of our community. So everything that I speak on today is not about me, it's about all of us. I want you to take a look around. You see personnel of all ages, various different generations, all walks of life, all races standing together collectively in this parish with concerns. So we just ask of you that you consider our voices on today. So as a law enforcement professional, a criminal justice professional, it's important that we study habits of behavior, because habits of behavior allow us to see what is going on now and what will proceed and go on next. They never fail us, so it's important to see habits of behavior. And with habits of behavior, what I've done is I've taken the opportunity to see some of the habits of behavior, other behaviors that are associated with Mr. Temple, who was the owner of the Harmony Center. Some of the issues that he's had thus far over a decade. And when we talk about over the span of a decade, that means that he was not able to correct those issues. And these issues affected the safety of the community. Not just the safety of those on that street, but as a professional, when people escape from facilities, they don't always stop at the house next door. That's too easy. Sometimes they go another 2, 3 to 5 miles until the fatigue set in before they victimize personnel. And statistically, in the Criminal Bureau of Statistics, it states that those who are 55 or older, or children or females, are more than likely to be victimized by those who are escapees. Our neighborhood is approximately 60 and older. I'm one of the youngest persons in the neighborhood. So I do want you to consider that. In 2008, and this article was written by Mr. Jim Shannon, also referenced to WAFB, there were 4 rapes that took place in his facility in a month and a half. 4 rapes that were documented and investigated by the Department of Social Services. 4 in 2 facilities in less than a year and a half. I want you to think about that. And how does that alter our safety in our community? Guess what? He's had countless numbers of personnel that have escaped his facilities. So the people who escaped his facilities in the past were people who were capable of doing the things that I just mentioned to you. Okay, and these were juveniles at the time. So the population that we have now are much older than juveniles that he attempted to bring there. They're much stronger than juveniles. Okay? In 2013, and this article can be referenced by Jim Mustang through the Advocate, the Camellia Group Home, which is one of his as well, the police were dispatched there 53 times in 3 months. 53 times for vandalism, rape, fights, consistently in 2013, within 3 months. This is what they're bringing to our neighborhood. Later on in 2013, there was an extreme high amount of burglaries that were exacerbated as this facility was placed in the neighborhood. People who have been living there for lifetimes have been victimized and never been victimized prior to that. So you think about those who have a specific income, those who retired have this certain income. When someone disrupts our homes and damages our homes and take everything, it disrupts our life. It disrupts our life. State Senate, Regina Barrow, just in January 17, 2003, she said that placing a facility of this magnitude in any neighborhood, not just North Baton Rouge where they declined to have him there, placing this type of facility is a recipe for disaster. That is what our state senator here said, that in District 15, that is a recipe for disaster. So we're talking about 53 incidents in 3 months. There are more than one form of law enforcement agencies there. You have several agencies. Each agency has hundreds of officers, and they were still not able to contain those facilities. Our officers work extremely hard here, and they cover the entire parish. What can we do with 55 incidents? Think about those escaping. Did he think about our children? Do you know how many children we have within a 2-mile radius? I know because I called each principal of each school here within a 2-mile radius. And I have that for you. Silverman informed me that they had approximately 600 students. The STEAM Academy, who's a new academy, informed they had approximately 120. East Feliciana Middle informed they had 113. Clinton Elementary also informed me they had 161. And let's not forget about Clinton Manor for those who are our elderly population who's paved the way for us, who are living there on a specific income, and some that have disabilities. These are all less than 2 miles. I run that every day. Ask my neighbors. This is what we're asking. So what we're asking of the board, we thank you for everything you all are doing for us. And we ask of you to be the voice for us. I just want, by a show of hands, how many people are against this proposal? I'm not going to even turn around and I'll close my eyes. But this is the voice. This is the voice. Why would you be for this? Be the voice of the people. And we know that you can do that. We know that you will do that. And we're confident that you will be the voice for us. So we thank you. May God bless you. And may God bless the citizens of East Feliciana Parish.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You have a comment from your Mr. Michael Cheatham.
Okay, my name is Michael Cheatham, and for a long time, Mr. Jason here is one of my students who I taught a long time ago. But I'm in the same context as what he's in also, and I just want to read some things to you all right quick to let y'all know just what's going on also, what's going on here. It says, this project is located with, what they're going to do is have like a place where 118 forensic patients in the community has been in the planning for quite some time, and Mr. Jason was talking about that. Additionally, the effort that was going by, I'm just gonna call a name, Mr. Collins Temple Jr., to be the facilitator and next door thriving elementary schools in the Glen Oaks area. He did all of these things without the knowledge of anybody here, the residents, the parents, the children, or the community. Nowhere near there. Okay, then of course then you got the council of the blind side thing where this Mr. Temple is attempting to do this like for property walkthrough to look at things up there. With I'm gonna call the name Hampton Steve. There's one of the forensic coordinators. There's Lauren Locke. There's one. You got another one that is right here is a forensic CEO. Then you got Brandon, and I can't pronounce the name too because I can't break it down in the syllables like I want to. But actually, it's Castici Glom, and she's an assistant CEO. Then we have Jimmy Scott and several other people in the forensic administration without communicating again to the people. And then here we go now. Here they coming to purchase a building and right back in Langston and start a new secret. So through this thing, they're going to do that with another person, Ms. Lee, Ms. Lott, and I can't change that name again. I'm gonna try to break it down in the syllables one more time. Cassie Young, Mr. Scott, and Mr. Scott, who's also a contractor for forensic, and he receives patients to place persons that are committing the crimes of the residential area. Of course, they're placing this thing into what we want to stop and lead them from escaping, knocking on doors and to other neighbors, escapes that's from the forensic. There are double the steel doors, high rise fence, and several other gates. Now, this is a question that I want. Do you want to vote for this quiet representative area? Do you want to do it? I don't want to do it. Absolutely. You got the schools. You got the schools who are right here. The schools are right here. They're here. You're right here. 1, 2. He did all 4 of them for us. Come on, man. And I live in Roseville, and please, I'm still looking at it. They're coming through. They're coming to the back. They're coming Main Street Extension. They're coming everywhere they can. It is totally ridiculous. And I don't like it at all. I'm trying. That's my goal with it. Thank you all.
Mr. Cheatham, to the people sitting here, 3 weeks ago we heard about this happening.
Yes.
3 weeks ago, it was rumors first.
Yes, sir.
We didn't know anything about it. We heard that he was doing construction work down there for Crown facility.
Yes, sir.
And once we got the wind of it, we put a stop and seek order on that. He didn't go to the proper channel, didn't come to the jury, anyone else.
None of it.
And Mr. Williams, I guess the more something. Mr. Williams.
I'd like the sheriff to get up and say what she wanted to say first, and then I'll go after him.
Okay, thank you. All right, sir.
I think it's important.
I I'm going to echo what you said.
I don't think your mic's on.
I'm going to echo what you said, Mr. President, that I think the problem with this whole thing is that nobody, the jury, the sheriff, the community, nobody was told what was going on up there. The first that anybody knew, or that I knew especially, was that work started, and then a cease and desist was put on by Mr. Williams, and we worked with Mr. Williams to enforce that cease and desist. But through that time, we've taken enforcement action on those issues up there, and we will continue to do so, because there's a right way to do it and a wrong way, and it's got to be done procedurally correct. And it's your decision to make this, or however that's going to work. But I'm just going to be point blank, I'm not in support of it either as the sheriff of East Feliciana. So I think the statement that I would like to say about this is basically that if there's a forensic facility that's about to go, then there has to be a contract with the state. And anytime a private provider or a contract with the state, if they're going to do a contract with the state and the people of this parish are not notified before work starts, it's totally unacceptable.
That's right.
So that's what I want to say, and I'm not for it, and I'm going to do everything I can to see that this doesn't happen.
Okay, Mr. Williams.
All right. My name is Jeff Williams. I'm the building official of this parish. It is my job to enforce the building codes, okay? I was told about this incident on a Monday. I went out there, spoke to the foreman of the job, told him to get me a meeting with the owner by Wednesday. Have not heard from anybody. I went back on Wednesday with 2 deputies and issued a stop work order, okay? Told them about the correct procedures. So where we stand right now, they have submitted plans to the fire marshal, okay? Once they submit those plans to the fire marshal, they will come to my office, okay? We do not have a zoning administrator, okay? We have a planning and zoning board, okay? All I can do is recommend, all right? I do know that they are planning to put a 12-foot fence around this facility, okay? Not 10, 12, okay? They are going to have 24-hour security, all right? In my book, that's an institution. That is what I'm going to recommend for y'all, to classify this as an institution. Right now, that piece of property is unidentified commercial property. Does not say C1, does not say C2. Okay, that was before zoning existed. It is taxed as commercial property, unidentified commercial property. Okay. My recommendation to y'all is to have them rezone that to industrial because it is an institution. But that is where we stand right now.
Mr. Williams, as you know, he hadn't approached the jury about no kind of zoning change. He hadn't reached out to plan his own, having it together. So really, we have to let everyone else that don't know what's going on. We're trying to find out, they should investigate it. Those who investigate them to found. I went down there, and we stopped up and working and everything else. But right now, all hands are tied. We don't know what's going on ourselves. If he never come to the jury, we never tell him what he's going to do.
But you can stop it before it happens. Yeah, y'all a jury, y'all can say no.
Why would you rezone it?
First of all, we're not going to rezone it. First of all, we should know what's going on before we stop. We can't stop something you don't know what's going on.
All right. Let me clarify something real quick for everybody, okay? The rezoning process, okay? You have to advertise, all right, for 2 weeks. Then we have a public hearing, so we'll do this all over again, okay? Mr. Temple is supposed to come to that, if I'm correct on that. Yeah.
We know you're going to get a farm marshal review, get it back to the parish for a permit. That's the process. Then once you go to plan it down, we make your recommendation, then we'll bring our decision. But we can't put the horse before the cart. You come for the whole, you got a process you go through to do anything. If you do it wrong, we'll be quit, that's all I'm trying to do. So let's do it right. That's all I'm saying, we all upset about what's happening, so let's do it right. That's the main, we get it right the first time, we won't have to do it.
Okay, I think there's some miscommunication there. Mr. Williams said that it would be, the type of facility it is with the big tall fence is going to be industrial. He did not mean it would be zoned industrial, because right now it's zoned
It's commercial.
commercial. So there's a lot that would have to happen to put industrial
That's right.
on that commercial property.
Correct.
So I just want to clarify that, because it looked like there was some confusion on that. Did that help?
It clearly said,
Well, time, you know, same company.
I want to clarify with you. Kyle Peel, Ottawa Road, I'm a builder in the area, pretty familiar with knowing all the rules. Are you saying you make the recommendation as to the zoning to the police chief? You are the one who's gonna make the recommendation? Who's gonna make that recommendation? Okay. But we would have to go from C, unidentified.
No, C1 and no C2.
You agree, you're of the opinion that it is a institution prison, which you think is defined
In our ordinance is industrial.
as industrial. So we would have to go through the zoning process, at which point we're all back here in 2 months. Okay.
That's what, you gotta get it right, you gotta get it right. That's why we've been litigation, fighting. Let's do it right. I'm not for the facility, the jury's not for the facility, but we got to go by the law. We got to do what's right.
He's not gonna go by the law.
It's not too long, we're not making right.
Exactly.
Remember that, please, let's do it right.
Won't matter if it's up and running.
Candace Barnard, why can't we just tell him we don't want him here? Why do we have to try to accommodate him? What if they do in Baton Rouge to get him booted out of there?
We don't want.
Stuff just like this.
Just like this.
Why do we have to try to change things?
We got to do it right.
It should remain commercial, period.
So, question, so he can force us to rezone it to industrial?
No.
I want to ask a question, he just said the words, y'all heard it, that his recommendation was that we rezone it industrial. That was the words he said.
And the reason he said that, historically, this jury has never rezoned anything industrial in an ag area. It doesn't happen.
So why is he recommending that?
He's talking about the building.
Because if this jury doesn't historically change something to industrial in an ag or residential area, that means we wouldn't change it.
Sure, not what it sounded like.
That's exactly what we're doing.
Huh? That's fine, go ahead, Joe. Okay. To help y'all with the clarification, right now, it's taxed, like Mr. Jeff said, it's unidentified commercial. That facility, Grace, was there before we had zoning. It was not working when we redid the map. It's not classified commercial, it's taxed commercial. It's classified agriculture. The only thing different out there is the facility up front by the highway. His recommendation would be that this institution, because it's a judicial institution, it's a lockdown. It's not a nursing home. You don't come and go. You're put there by the judges and you're there for a duration. It's an institution. Institutions, if they're going to be done, have to be industrial. That's what he said. His recommendation is it's an institution and it has to be industrial. If he doesn't put the process into effect, you have to change it from agricultural to industrial. And he's got to go through planning and zoning to do it. Go through the public hearing process. We listen to him, we make a recommendation to the jury. Several things he's got against it. Industrial has to be on an arterial road. Race Lane is not an arterial road. 67 is. But it's not on 67. That's the first thing about industrial that's going to cause them a problem is the location. Besides the fact that
nobody wants it there. And we'll listen to all that too. That's part of the process. But you can't say, you can't come here because then you're taking something from him, and you'll lose that battle in court. Because the judge says, you took his rights, he didn't go through the process, can't do that, you lost.
You got to do it right.
Once you do it right and go through the process, he doesn't need the ordinance.
She does in the meantime, does he keep doing what?
Oh, no, he's already got a stop order on him, and he's got the police enforcing the stop order. So he don't do it.
You said the police can enforce this order. I'm getting the sense that he's paying all these manufacturers to protect his investment. So my thing is, that's what we have this police drill. Y'all should be protecting our investment. We're not gonna keep losing. Like I said, I've lost once before on property value with the place next door. Now you're asking me to take another lick with the place in the back.
Our sheriff has wrote multiple tickets to people out there and cited them for being on site with the stop order. So I know for a fact our sheriff is enforcing that stop order.
But like I said, once again, people, like I said, I'm not doubting, but I know Mr. Temple, and I've heard plenty about Mr. Temple. Like I said, I don't know him personally, but he used to say, when you want something, you get it. Like I say, when I think about meals, Mr. Adams, when I called him about the stuff that was going on up front about me up there, he was always busy. Man, I'm doing something, I can't do it. I've seen him twice when Mr. Temple called. Passing by my house, going back to see what he wants. So I'm like,
people, we are totally against this process, so we know we got to do it right. If not, we'll be in court, trying to sell some money, fighting this music. Let's do it right. That's all we all say. We're totally against it, we are. But we got to do it right, do it by the law.
Well, all it might take is by him, that not being on an exterior road, might just shut it down right there. That's all it might take, something simple as that. Okay.
Let's go through the process.
Just know that no permits will be sold until all this is clarified, okay? No construction permits, nothing will be sold until all this is clarified. So no work will be done on that piece of property that requires a permit. It will not be sold in this office.
You have to do it illegal, they have to put on rest.
There you go.
They have our word on it. But we got to do it right, people. I know y'all upset. A lot of misconceptions out there, people saying that, but we got to do it right.
There are policies and procedures that we have to know about.
That's what we want to understand. We want to understand that this is going to get stopped. We're just all hanging out there, and we don't know, who had the final say. That's fair.
It's fair enough. That's all we need to do.
If I understand the conversation earlier this evening, the possibility of a contract with possible state, with a private individual or private firm that wants to do this construction or have this facility. Well, my question to you is, earlier this evening, you were forced to yes to vote on some building restrictions.
What's the building code?
Building code. What's to keep the state from telling you have to vote for this?
Two totally different things.
One state, it's the same state.
These are international building codes that we voted on earlier. That's totally different. Totally different. These are international building codes.
Actually, you can probably use those building codes to shut the building down. Actually, you can use those building codes that you just enforced to shut the building down, because that building probably doesn't meet those criteria.
What was the official reason for the cease and desist order? Was it that it was zoned incorrectly? Didn't ask for a permit? That's the official. You can't you didn't ask for a permit. And what Jeff is saying is that now you come ask for one. When you do, you come ask and you're not zoned right. You got to go to the zoning.
Exactly. It's a process.
So quick question. Does anybody officially know what's going out there?
No.
Okay. So has he brought anything officially to you?
No.
So as of right now, it is completely shut down on his cease and desist. So that's where it stands right now.
Yes, thank you. I'm sorry.
I worked down there on surface truck, Demco for 35 years. I watched them shut him down on Old 61 between Baker and Zachary. He moved in a series of houses, but I think that the jury has it right in that if you go through it through the proper channels, and once you go through the channel, you can shut him down. He moved in a bunch of houses down there to do the same thing, and they shut him down. They're still sitting down there rotting. But he's going to try and shove it on you. That is Thomas Temple Jr. And they shut him down. But they did it the right way. You can't just walk in and say, oh, no, you ain't coming out from here. Put your ducks in a row, shut him down, and he's got to tuck his tail and go home.
Well, that is the perfect plan. You're absolutely right. See, what Mr. Temple would do, people, like, see, right now he says an institution that everybody be locked down with a 12-foot fence. He would take that fence down and say, well, no, they can go and come if they please, like some of his other cities. So you got to be very careful when you're playing this man.
It's not like
You got your original heart, I promise you that. We don't want this in our community, in our family. We don't need it. And let us go to the process. God, we have to do all of it. Let us do a job and let us do all the job.
We just want to be reassured you're on our side.
We are on this side, I promise you. I can guarantee you. Got to be this, got to do
Community and growth, we don't want to stay or get worse. When you bring stuff like that in, it's going to create.
But we live in America, it's a process. We know that.
Treat him like a rattlesnake. Keep your eyes on him, okay? And he will bite you. What you got to get gas? What you got to get gas? Hey, buddy, how you doing? Yeah.
Go down our resolution, thank you. Okay, let's go to the document, February 2020. Well, start to discuss, we got to meet with the please. Adopted amendment for the 2023. Mr. Hall.
Second.
By Dr. Quinn, any discussion? Question from the audience? Not all in favor? And opposed? Motion carries. Let's go to the study, quick action on all the things in the health care. And take it up to our next meeting. Any discussion? Question from the audience? Not in favor? And opposed? Motion carries. On the new business, solar farm project, Scott Russell. Mr. Russell?
Good afternoon. Scott Yarborough representing Ecoplexus, developer of renewable energy projects. I want to give you guys an update, current status report on where we are. At this point, the Army Corps had the permit request. There was a pre-application meeting that went well. There were no identified concerns by the Corps at that time. They run on about a 3 to 6 month time frame to get these finalized and approved. So that would put us into August. They went in February. The couple of the next steps, we have been talking to some of the landowners about getting ready to harvest some timber. So we're trying to begin to coordinate those plans to begin the timber harvest for site preparation. looking at identifying a civil engineering firm to finalize all of the plans, dirt work, everything that needs to occur to make this a reality. We'll have to do a traffic plan for you guys, a road use agreement. All that's in the works. Feliciana and I actually were able to meet a couple of weeks ago and get that process started. I have an outstanding item for her right now to give her a traffic plan and road that plan to be used to share those with you guys. And then obviously a stormwater permit has to be procured as well. Right now, the plan is to mobilize in November of this year, to begin the construction process, begin the site prep and everything, and really, I believe probably in earnest, begin the actual construction, the receiving materials for the construction process to begin probably in the first quarter of 2024. So they'll start mobilizing, beginning to do the site prep, move some dirt, get things ready to go.
What kind of time is it?
So it'll take about 18 months to get done. One of the things that is ongoing right now is Entergy has identified, I think I've been able to meet with you, President Kim, on that as well, and I know I had a chance to talk to your Vice President Quinn on it as well. Entergy had identified a few network upgrades that needed to be done. What's pushed us back is their timeline for completing those upgrades, and those upgrades are to be done on their schedule, and we got it about, I guess, 2 or 3 months ago when I was able to speak to you guys. They're anticipating being done in August 2025. So that would put us being able to, we'll be able to construct along with those upgrades being done. So you'd be able to hopefully complete in that time frame the network testing, all the transmission line interconnection, and be up and operational at the end of 2025.
I think I asked you this earlier. Kind of trivial now, but y'all in way in the process. When you came to us first, it was a California company. Did we ever identify if it's a China company back in California? Or
It's not. It is not a
California investors?
That's correct. It's a U.S. based. They have offices in San Francisco, Dallas, North Carolina, Taiwan. They do have some international, but the CEO of the company who I interact with pretty regularly is from California. He doesn't live there now, but he's originally from there. And I'm happy to come back as I have more information. I'll share it with Denisha, and we can kind of plan as to whether it needs an update to you guys. But if there's any changes, if I get any additional information from Entergy about this, I'll let you know.
Any questions, please?
Thank you, Mr. Scott.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Off the agenda, somebody with a white Tahoe, I think they moved it. That's people need to get out.
White Tahoe, that's the one we're not going to please. Thanks. We move with the agenda. Discuss, take action on the liquor permit request for coastal conservation station, March 30, 2022, and 2835 Highway 96, Brandon Andrews.
So, Brandon Andrews, I'm here on behalf of the CCA, and I would like to thank the jury for allowing me to be here and request this permit. Like I said, I'm simply here just to request a permit to allow us to serve alcohol at our annual Feliciana's banquet, which is located off Highway 956. And it's simply, the alcohol is just a complimentary drink to the purchase of a ticket, and they just come in and they just request and go to our open bar, and we just serve them alcohol. One day event is from 6 to 9:30, 10.
Welcome, Mr. Hart. Thank you, Mr. Chris. In discussion. Question from the audience. Is that all in favor? In opposed?
Thank you, jury.
Yes, sir. That public hearing date. That public hearing date on the proposed ordinance to ban the sale of crypto.
3 weeks?
Yeah.
So do it for like our first or second meeting the following month.
Yeah, April 3rd.
Sound good? So,
Move with take it back to approval. Any more discussion? Question from the audience? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Take action on amendment to approve state uniform construction code with a public hearing.
so maybe that was from the public hearing earlier, let's discuss that out in the building.
Like the international building code. Any more discussion? Question from the audience? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Could discuss take action on amendment to discuss take action on proposed public comment request form for jury. Let's take that, something we will bring to the public.
Second.
Discuss the laws. You know what I'm saying? You know, Paul?
Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
Do you think maybe we have moved on, but by the next meeting, we have drafted a form, so you have something to look at?
Yes, sir.
So the public can get used to what we're going to do.
Exactly. Most county governments don't go through the process.
I would just say that.
Request nomination for capital groundwater board.
Okay, so in your, package, you have two nominees, two nominations, two requests to be on the board. We need two nominations. Look, let me see those people, two people, Brad Stewart, I would guess it's Brad, maybe, and Mr. Ray Fair. You all would accept those nominations for the groundwater commission.
Make a motion that we accept them.
Advertise to fill an unexpired term of planning and zoning commission. Who term is that? Loretta, she passed away.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Craig. Second by Mr. Hall. Any discussion? Question from the audience? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Advertise to fill 3 vacancies on the tourist commission.
So moved.
Moved by Dr. Williams, second by Mr. Hall. Any discussion? Question from the audience? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Advertise to fill 2 unexpired terms on gas district and the water. You want to Mr. Johnson, second by Mr. McCray. Any discussion? Question from the audience? All in favor? Any opposed? Next time we give it committee staff to get committee, I don't have anything. What's the other one? Coach McAtee.
I have only one item, but it may be something going on with the next change, but I'm going to represent you with this, it says recommendation to change employment status for Kelsey Sales to permanent, to be permanent with admin administration staff for each pay.
She has met a 90-day probation period. That was a form of motion.
Can I say something first? Okay. And I did support this when we met, but I guess my heart and my conscience may have, changed. I know she needs to be put at a permanent employment status. I don't have a disagreement with that at all. But I think this is going to involve the swapping of 2 personnel that we have, and I'm not too sure we should wait until we get a new parish manager before we start moving people and making decisions like that. Just my thought.
Well, I want to say something too. I want to say something too. We put her in that position to be a manager. She's
got that position, and I think that she has the right to call that, as you see it. That's just my opinion on it.
So should it have never come to personnel?
Well,
Our 90-day step increase.
I always come to the
Yeah, the step increase should have came to personnel, that should have been approved, but as far as, yeah, I see what you're saying, as far as where an employee works at, that's day-to-day operation. The step increase, yeah, I see exactly what you're saying.
And that's why I voted for it the other day. But
No, on the day-to-day operations.
The problem right now, Ms. Harris, Elder, Harris, she make these decisions, not these decisions.
Now, if the personnel wants to look at office stuff, they want to look and call a meeting and do that. It's not that you're X'd out, but if y'all want to come in and say, look, why is this happening? Because we've had personal conflicts in the past or whatever it may have been, the jury had to get involved. So I'm not saying that you can't sit down with Ms. Harris and say, why win? That's no problem, no. But as far as the step increase, I think we should do that.
well, I said
And
that
then if
too.
y'all want to have a meeting to discuss where people work, call a meeting and discuss that.
But if has made a right to make that decision. Then
I'm not arguing with that fact, I'm not saying a word about that.
That's already been done. Okay, more discussion. All in favor? Any opposed?
Excuse me, Mr. Pitt. So you saying, y'all have already approved the parish manager?
No, we haven't. We have an interim past manager in this area.
Okay.
And she was day operation of this jury.
Okay, but you kept saying parish manager, Ms. Harris.
She's the interim past.
Okay, I understand.
Until we appoint her, she's innocent.
So, I will ask this question while we're on it. We advertise, set a deadline date, when are we gonna interview?
So once they, set a committee, with some lay people, just everyone. A man, couple man, as long as we put their committee, we need to interview.
The last few times we did it with executive.
Stan says you have to be in a hurry to appoint a past manager. Last
Doing
time,
this too fast.
anyway,
Really and truly, you should change it to the jury if it change. You got an election coming up in October. And so you should, I mean, that's just me.
And that's a conversation we had, and what I said is I didn't want to do it from jump, but now that we have, we put a deadline on these folks that you have to have it in by the 16th, and now it just doesn't seem right that we said, okay, we're advertising for this, we put a deadline. We can look at every application and say, we don't like none of them. If we're gonna stay with Ms. We don't even have to start over. We can say, we're gonna stay with Ms. Harris until the end of our term. That's an easy thing. But when we go out and advertise and people put in applications, we should give them enough respect to say, okay, it's in by the 16th. And now here we are, 2 or 3 weeks, we hadn't even looked at it.
And I'm with Mr. Hall in that respect. I definitely agree. It's respect to them individuals.
Even if we don't want to accept any of them.
That's right.
But let's give them the respect of saying, you put in now, let's do it. Whether we pick somebody or not, that's fine. But let's just do it.
Well, it's their choice if they accept it for 8 months or not.
Exactly. So that would be my question, if we go ahead and, if we could.
You'll be going through the interview process. We're not going to rush and make a hasty decision because the new jury can always appoint a new past manager next year.
That's something I want to avoid doing. I don't want to feel like we rush, we just jump in.
Exactly. We'll make a mistake before we rush.
Yeah, we do need to look at these, but yes.
I think if y'all remember that me and Mr. Jason didn't want to advertise to start with. But now that we
have advertised, we need to hire somebody. Ms. Harris is doing an excellent job. She's really doing it. I like the relationship we have, but we've advertised, we got applicants. We need to get that.
We're going through the process. It's a process we're going through. And I will tell people we start the process. I will say. But we're not going to rush through this. It's a very important decision we have to make. We're mistakes in the past, don't rush it. You can do it right. That's about it.
By doing it right, we not gonna recognize 6 or 7 people that's applying. We need to
Everybody would be
things
there.
out. We're gonna wait till the new term.
Everybody be here. But Mr. Howard said we should wait till the year anyway, until the new jury is appointed. Or some of them be here.
So do we have a plan for when we're going?
I'm gonna start it there, and then the process will start. And I wait for the jury, and then we'll start the process.
How many applicants do we have so far?
Applications that came in 7. Now, out of those 7, I don't know if all 7 are.
One will qualify, he'll live in the county.
Qualify. I'm not even sure that everyone qualifies, but
No.
there were 7 applicants.
Yeah. One will live in the parish, he's gonna move into the parish, he don't live here now, so he gets qualified. The parish manager has to live in the parish. No question. We'll set the process up and we'll start the interview process with the executive committee.
Motion is second for
You want to discuss? All in favor? Any opposed?
The motion is for her to make her step.
Take a step into it.
Second.
Anything else, just for you? Anything else, for-
Again, if coaching those guys won't have a meeting with this.
Just have it, that's all. But as you know, the jury cannot tell me how to run this office. If they're not going to. You're overstepping their boundaries to tell her how to operate this office. You cannot do it.
But we could have never had it, personnel, I guess.
The personnel always bring a step increase and probation creativity.
And I did it out of a courtesy, so you all would know what's going on. I mean, I am new to interim parish manager, but I have been in this office. So whether the parish manager is in or out, I am in this office. It's not like I just came in one day and said, oh, let's swap some people around. I've worked with these people since they've been here, so.
You all these people. Any discussion? Move on. Anything else, Coach Hill? Anything else? Okay, finance committee, Mr. Christopher Hart.
A couple of things. First thing, I'd like to make a motion to approve monthly invoice.
Second. Mr. Christopher, question for your order. You know what I'm saying? You know, Paul, motion to.
The second thing, I have a question. Treasurer's always signed checks in the past. Why are we?
It's gonna be a conflict.
That's what Jackie said, but you don't have to, you can get someone else to reconcile.
Isn't it in our bylaws that the treasurer?
It's part of the policy, so to change this, the policy, we have to change.
President, can I have the B and C table? And we'll discuss this another time.
Second.
Question for your order. None in favor?
Thank you very much.
Nicole, motion carries. It's on the agenda. Public Works and Court. Mr. Jason Craig. Building Project, Mr. Richard Allen. Administrative now.
And the police jury convention starts this week in Shreveport, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. In case you all haven't saw, Bank Street Bridge over Lewis Creek is complete. And I have been in contact with Amanda Bach. You have something in your packet. Southeast Regional Representative for Senator Bill Cassidy about the Puncher Train Restoration Program, which is a federally funded program that provides assistance in fixing and maintaining the Lake Pontchartrain Basin. I would like to schedule a meeting in the next couple weeks to receive more information, and I will also provide you with information on the date once it's scheduled, if you would like to.
Wonder if we can call her and get some of the big pot of money they got for the basin for an outlet there.
Yes, if you look through the packet, it has all the information. If you all will look over it, it has a lot of information in there.
Anything else to say?
It's just for administrative matters.
Treasury report. Homeland Security, Darrell Hill. Commissioning board, $10 million. APA, all recommended for approval. Coming from $10 million.
Make a motion to approve APH, please.
Go ahead a second, I just want to say something.
Okay, got it. Okay, Mr. Oliver.
Item E, approval of Michael J. Grego, item 10, now passed away. Very good friend of mine, lived across from the golf course. I've worked with him for many years. Principal man, and I'm sure they're waiting tonight. I couldn't go tonight, though.
Roll call vote, please, like motion second.
Mr. Michael Cheatham?
Yes.
Mr. Carl Flanagan?
Yes.
Mr. Chris Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Ronald Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Jason McCray?
Yes.
Mr. Keith Mills?
Yes.
Mr. Richard Oliver?
Yes.
Dr. Chrissy Oakland?
Yes.
President Louis King?
Yes. Anything else, Mr. Michelle, for $10 million?
I'd like to say I mentioned a couple of meetings back about updating all these ordinances. And I asked to write the ordinance to RV and trailer park. And I would like to see that maybe we can get planning zoning to find it their heart to do that, or we get somebody to do that. Updating these ordinances in that book. I know that's been on the table since I've been on here now for 3 years, 2 months. So it's way past time that gets done.
Thank you, Mr. Oliver. Anything else? Yes, sir. Thank you, Nancy.
Jason Stanford, live in Norwood. I've come to the meeting tonight mainly for the first part about the prison, but since I was here, I want to bring up trash. Our parish is beautiful, and I've been riding my motorcycle on all the back roads. I got dual sport bike, and that's what we focus on, is riding back roads. I rode across St. Francisville, all through East Feliciana, St. Helena, Franklinton, all across the state line. This parish has a lot of trash on our back roads. It's too pretty to be that ugly. Why can't we get somebody to take care of picking up trash?
You got people do it every day.
Where they at?
You got 420.
I can clean up this parish in 6 months. You give me 2 guys in a truck, and I could clean it up.
In 3 days later, it's gonna be back just like we was.
You just have to do it over and over.
That's the problem that we have. And we was doing it regular, but COVID hit us hard because of the convicts that we use. I agree with you as far as looking back, it does. And yeah, if DCI, you can't get them anymore.
What are they doing in West Virginia?
Let's back up first. 2 educators here. Let's go through the problem. Let's start teaching the students. Them students to tell the parents to throw the beer cans out. That's our problem. You gotta educate the kids to educate the parents.
We used to have somebody going through the school at one time, trying to talk to the students and the parents, trying to communicate with you. It was helpful. I think somebody dropped the ball on it, but it was, I think it was only through 4-H or something at one time.
West Feliciana Parish knows how to do it. That parish is beautiful. It's clean, and ours could be the same way.
We clean up one day, the next day, just about the same way.
And Jason, it's frustrating for us.
For me too.
Mr. Jeff and them came and cleaned Tom Road, and just a couple of days later, it looked like it never been done.
I clean my own, so I pick up trash in my own. She had never come and said, never come?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So, there is a cooperative endeavor between the police jury and the sheriff. We share some costs, and we have guys out there that they technically work for the jury, but the sheriff allows the offenders from the jail to help out with that crew. And I think they get their daily assignments from the jury, but they're out there, it was said just a minute ago that, yes, it is frustrating. I mean, I see it, and I call the warden, I talk to him about it. You can pick up a road like Line Road, you can pick up one of the parish roads, and by the end of the week, it looks like you didn't even pick it up. But we continue to work hard with that. I've given my commitment since I've been the sheriff to continue that. It's very important, and it is embarrassing at times that we have this issue. I think education is an issue that we ought to try to revisit again if we haven't. And also, I want to say that the sheriff's office has specifically worked with wildlife and fisheries, which is one of their primary directives for litter. So we work with them. We put pole cams up in assistance with them, and we have made a few arrests. But we continue to work hard with that. And but I echo your concern, and we will continue to work with the jury to do better and better job. Thank you.
We recently had a ribbon cutting in Jackson at the Tea House. Thanks to the jury for your support, and special thanks to Mr. Oliver and Mr. Mills for attending. The chamber participated in this past Saturday's Clinton Community Market. We passed out information on how to become a member, and we provided free face painting for the children, and thank you to your police jury employee Kelsey Scales for agreeing to do the face painting for us. Save the date, April 25th, from 11 a.m. to 1:30 a.m. The chamber will offer a social media class. More information to come, and the chamber will also meet March at 8 o'clock.
Public comment, 3 minutes, please.
Well, I got one. I'm not coming and ask the jury for any money this time. That's Chris. I'm not coming with a complaint. I've been wanting to come over for quite some time, but I hadn't got here. I want to talk about Clinton Wilson Road. Like Mr. Ed Brooks always say, a gravel road is a gravel road. We have had some rain, the road was a little bit rough. And going back and forth down the road to church, I was saying to myself, Lord, how we gonna fix this road? It had gotten pretty bad. There had been a whole lot of rain after the Raiders had left. Well, I just saw it progressively get worse, get worse, get worse. So one day I was going out to the church to clean the church. I ran into Glenn Sims out there on the road there. And when I started going down the road, I went to pass and I said, Lord, what in the world is Glenn going in the road? So it looked kind of rough. But I came back through again, and I was worried about getting stuck, getting through it. Went on back through it. I said, Lord, Glenn lost his mind. Well, when I come back, the last time, I could not believe what he had done with that road. And he worked that road for quite a while. I went back and forth for late that evening. I turned around, I went back just to take another look. And at one point he had the tires of that road grade like it was up against the bank, and I wondered. So when I came back through the final time, he had created ditches on both sides of that road. He had to pull that road up and put a crown on it like that. Never actually seen on that road before. We got a whole lot of rain after he finished that road. I'm talking about we got some serious rain. After all that rain months ago that we had, that road still is in really good shape. Like I said, a lot of times I come asking for money and have a complaint, but I just want to let y'all know that he did one hell of a job, and I've never seen that road graded like that. I just wanted to let the jury know.
Any more public comment?
I'm on for him. You better get out. No. How you doing? Thank you.